Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly podcast all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I'm Morg, and this is...
Slapjack! And this is...
Yeah, my mic just cuts out if you shout too loud into it, apparently. This is Mace.
Guys, we've got to roll with it now.
Just go on.
This is T-Bar. Hi, welcome to our wrestling podcast. We were going for a mockery of Retribution. More on that later.
Oh, they're brilliant. You leave them alone.
But T-Bar here can't shout down his mic, apparently, or it explodes. So welcome to our podcast.
Look, it's just to save people's ears.
Morg, save us.
Yeah, me and Strange don't care. We'll just blast your ears out while you're listening to our podcast.
Suck it.
Muir is the member who cares.
I don't care.
Oh, bless him.
What have you guys been up to this week?
What have I done this week? College, work, stardom. That's about it.
Watched AEW.
I have watched a lot of AEW.
5 hours of AEW.
God,
How has it been that long?
How do WWE fans do it? I don't understand how you can watch this much wrestling. Like, I like wrestling, but Jesus.
It's cut into my precious Kagetsu time.
How I watch
on a
it,
different note.
How I used to watch it is I used to watch it with the skip button.
Well, okay, fair enough.
And I know that Wilborn from What Culture watches it on double speed.
I'm getting to that level, I'm not going to lie. I barely had enough spare time this week to watch The Holy Grail and Wishmaster, so you're cutting into my old films. Both films I watched last night. God, that film is terrible. Not Monty Python, obviously. The Golden film. Oh. But, what have you been up to,
You're
Morg?
only getting 2 to 3 hours of Kagetsu watching.
I love her.
Watching too much wrestling, I think, has been my week so far.
I think we should leave this with more on that later.
More on that later. So this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we rate the matches in Dynamite and how we rate overall BTE Dark. And our tier list will now be explained to you by Mr. Strange.
Hello, listeners. Tier list, obviously, you may have seen it from variety of YouTube channels, variety of different wrestling channels, in fact, now, and Japanese computer games. We work up through the ranks in an alpha numerical code, just alpha code. We start at D and work up to S. We're going to give a little description of each with a bit of flair thrown on it, because I like to. This week's added description is from the help of my missus, and we are rating the male wrestlers on attractiveness in the scale at the same time. Not raw looks. We've thrown in personality. This isn't a misandry thing where we say this dude's hideous. We're getting the charisma in there as well. This is a balanced and not... No.
Don't try and defend yourself here. Just carry on with the list.
All right, we're going from ugly to beautiful. Let's roll. A D rank match is our lowest ranked match. It's the kind of match you don't have fun watching. Maybe you're looking away. Maybe you're playing on your phone. It just hasn't quite met that bar. And in the case of my fiance's opinion, they're the people who are least likely to entice her. And unfortunately for these two men, it's double M's. It's Marco and Mox. Marco because that's just not her type, and Moxley is just not a handsome man, from what I've been told. I feel the most upsetting comment here was when she said, Marco, if he was less insufferable, he'd probably be a C. And I think that's a good description of a D-rank match. If the match was less insufferable, it'd be a C. C is a good match. You're happy. You've got enough plot. You've got enough storyline. Not necessarily like the best of matches, but it's good. You've enjoyed yourself from start to finish. What you want is your average match. Apparently what my woman wants in an average man in the wrestling persona and charisma business is MJF or either Buck.
Whoa, now we all know Matt's the looker of the books. Come on.
That is the looker of the books. If I was into the boys, I'd be a Matt man.
Yes, come on. Come on now.
rank matches take something to that next level. Maybe it's got extra good wrestling, maybe it's got great story going in, but either should be there. You're having a good time watching it, but it's just that stock above. You've not really looked away. And apparently my missus doesn't quite look away when Santana or Kenny Omega are on the screen. Kenny apparently a bit weird looking, but makes up for it with charisma, which is what can make a B match. It might only just be like solid in the wrestling, but the charisma and story going in, rack it up. These comparisons are working better than I thought. Now I've got to roll on it. A-rank matches are probably a match of the night, the match that stands out. The wrestling is good to great. The plot is there and is superb. You give a fuck. You don't look away. It's probably a match of the week, maybe match of the month. And I agree with half of this. My missus has picked for the A-rank stars. Hangman Adam Page, who is a handsome man. He is a handsome man, let's be honest.
Yes, he is.
And my personal boy, Ricky Starks, on the different ends of the scale. You see, we've got a buff, rugged man and just the beauty that is Starks. I love it. And S-rank match. An S-rank match is the match that just you will remember for ages. It's the Hell in the Cell off the roof match. It's the best. The wrestling is phenomenal. It's got story. It's got heart. You give a fuck. You remember it. It's enshrined. And apparently there are only 2 S-rank attractive male wrestlers, according to my fiance. And that is, of course, Scorpio Sky, a man I describe as beautiful whenever he comes out, because apparently he is handsome and has big dad energy, I've been informed. He's got that.
Well, STU are the dad's faction, so he does have big dad energy.
And my personal favourite, the one I'd probably vote for, the obvious S-rank male persona for if you're a man, a woman, or any of the beautiful rainbow in between, the Giga Chad, Wardlow.
My God.
I want to look like Wardlow. He's just beautiful. And if I want to look like Wardlow, that's what I want from my S-rank match. I want it to be enshrined in everybody's eyes. They look up and go, God, that's good. Just like Wardlow. You were right from the start, T-Bar. He is instant dimes. So that's our scale list, Morg. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm surprised Trent didn't get on there. Because we actually had a
Trent's an A.
Right. Because we actually had a conversation while watching Dynamite last night, which was me turning to the Raptor and going, Trent's a really good-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Apparently, the only thing that lets him down is Ruth's not into hairy men, and he is a very hairy man.
He is a hairy man.
Today on Straight White Dudes discuss how handsome men are.
It's half our wrestling, to be fair. Half our wrestling is, that person's attractive. Let's be honest here.
I mean, every time Ricky Starks, the Butcher, Wardlow, or Scorpio come out, my notes do say, God, he's beautiful, and it's on every single one of them. More on that later.
I feel we probably wouldn't have got away with doing female wrestlers in the same way.
Oh, no. I was considering doing it for next week, and I was like, I'll have the shit kicked out.
I think we can only do that if we get either the Raptor or Rue to record the segment for us and make their decision. I think that's the only way that the three of us can ever be safe with that. And that's not from our girlfriends. I just mean from the rabid horde of internet people.
Yeah. I wouldn't risk putting Ruth on this. She is really judgmental. I've got so many notes about Matt Sydal for later. I think she was shouting at the screen. I've just moved my notes, and one of them just says, the fucking audacity of this match, which is something she said.
Like my Mrs. Alex, when she was watching it, she was like, I don't like these short people in wrestling. I was like, oh, God, calm down.
Oh, no, she's gone, Kevin.
Oh, no.
I
think you need to let her watch a bit of WWE. I think that might be the way around that.
Oh God, I'm not watching
bit of Broad Strongman.
Right.
Morg, you've got to get this show back on the road. We're discussing handsome men and vanilla midgets.
So, well, I think it's good that we've had a little bit of levity because I think it's time for us to move to something a little bit serious. And this week's news is quite serious. I think we have to cover as a wrestling show, although it wasn't necessarily AEW related, the unfortunate passing of Joseph Laurinaitis, Road Warrior Animal, one of the Legion of Doom. So, yeah, that's obviously our first bit of bad news this week.
I'm not a person who gets like bothered by celebrity deaths,
No.
which can make me seem a bit heartless. But I think both of you guys know how much I love the Legion of Doom. I've got fucking anime figures in my front room set up doing doomsday devices and shit.
And
They
he
were
was, the more down to earth one. Whenever they had the interview, he was just like, "Yeah, I went to bed at like normal time and stuff."
Yeah,
So it
no
is quite sad.
drugs, medium drinking.
Yeah, so it is very
True.
sad. But
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
God bless, peace to his family. I hope everything works out well for him.
Yeah. Moving on from that, Mr. Strange, I believe you have picked up some other bits of news.
We've got some bits and pieces. Lance Archer was not on the show this week. More on that later, because apparently he has been in contact with the Rona. And obviously, when you have a gimmick being assisted by a 70-year-old man who is powered only by his terrible t-shirts and bright white teeth, you don't want to give it to Jake the Snake. Don't give it to Jake the Snake. So that's why we've got no Lance. Apparently, Ben Carter, who we'll be discussing later, may have been in contact with the Corona as well. So it looks like we're probably going to have a bit of a back and forth clusterfuck set of shows again for a few weeks, I guess.
Yeah,
but in honesty, last time that gave us the Rise of the Best Friends and a bunch of arcs we've enjoyed and stuff. So
we'll see.
Bad, but safety and good, and probably nobody's going to be really harmed because we'd have heard about it.
I think Tony Khan books best when this shit happens.
I am actually with you. When he's been forced to improvise, because his long-term storytelling seems to be it takes place over 2 weeks, and that ain't long-term.
Well,
whereas when he's
Hangman Adam Page has been a long-term storyteller.
I don't think that's his booking. I think that's the Elite doing that.
Fair.
In all honesty.
If only they'd given him to Tanahashi, he'd have got the poison out of him.
Yes, he would have.
PW reference, sorry.
He would have saved him.
Tanahashi, basically the ace, the greatest star. He's basically Shawn Michaels if there was no evil in him. Wanted Adam Page to be looked after. Tanahashi has all of the good energy of Goku crossed with all of the dad energy of SCU in one man. Basically.
Yes. He's fantastic.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think when he improvises, tone is a lot better, which could be good. Segue, because it looks like Miro may or may not be injured as well. They've been saying he's injured after his first match, but it could be a work shoot.
The Raptor did the digging for us. It's a legitimate injury, but it was to his ankle, but it wasn't as bad. After the match, it looks like it was one of those ones during a match. It's hopefully looking like it. Yeah, it's looking like it's not serious. I mean, he seemed to be all right at the end of the match. He seemed to walk off all right. I'm hoping it's just like a 2 or 3 week thing off. I don't have a problem with that because I think if he just turns up and talks, that's going to endear him to crowds even more.
Yeah, fair.
He's a very charismatic man, so less is more will be good.
Covered
that
last week. My hatred for how likable he is lingers on. The final piece of news.
Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Muir, take it. You were the one who found the picture.
Yeah, it seems like Shanna's made it across the pond, so that's good news for us. That means we'll have another decent female wrestler back in AEW, which I'm very excited for.
Shanna can make it from France.
That means Pac can make it from
Pac.
So
I love you, Shanna. You're very good at wrestling, but
and you're Ruth's friend.
I don't know where to put this, whether to put it in discussion. So we were discussing last night. I'm going to put it here.
Yep.
Before we go into the other stuff. So we were discussing last night when they had the big beatdown and Eddie Kingston came out, and because obviously we're going to cover this in the review. So if you normally skip the review for any reason, you're going to have probably about 3 or 4 minutes of spoiler interrelated. So there's your warning for the spoiler. There's your pause. Right. Either bugger off and fast forward, or you're just going to have to listen to it. So So they had the big run-in. I'm going to do a quick bit of fantasy booking here. I just think you two might like this. So they had the big run-in.
Our expanded universe.
Yeah, they had the big run-ins. Mox got beaten down. Then Will Hobbs made the save. Then he got beaten down. Then more people came out. And you had 4 people and 3 people. And the Raptors like, well, who's going to be the 4th person? I have worked out the 4th person in the John Mox Misfits faction. And I wish I thought of this last week.
Go on.
It'll mean a babyface turn, so you two might not like it, but I think if you keep him as the same kind of snotty, badass babyface, Pac. Because Eddie Kingston's stolen his mates. He's the right fit for that group, and he would be another top star to elevate the 2 new younger stars.
The only problem with putting Pac in there is if he has to face off against Eddie Kingston, it'd be just such an awful styles clash.
I don't think he would use him to face off against anyone else. Lucha brothers.
Yeah, fair.
Phoenix and Pac.
Yeah, no, they'll be fantastic together.
Yeah.
It's just
he's your counter to Phoenix, if you like. Will Hobbs is your counter to,
big lads.
Yeah. So he's your counter to Penta.
That works.
I'm down with it because I don't.
I want him to be a heel because I love heels, and we know Pac doesn't care. Because in an interview, somebody was like, "Do you prefer being heel or face?" He was like, "I don't care. It's my job."
Yeah, to be fair,
that's pretty based.
I think it would be a very face tweener. I think it would be a face tweener group.
I will buy it as long as he gets a Scar gimmick because his favorite band is the Specials.
Yeah, fair.
Where I live.
Then we need Sami Zayn.
Then we need Sami Zayn and. And I've got the Scar group. Yeah,
and that's
this can
good
lead into my Scar group that I discussed.
Kevin Owens can then go and join the heel group because we're still Kevin Owens because he's fucking awesome. And I think him and Eddie Kingston would be great together. So moving on, getting back on track. Getting back on track. It is time for our little social media of the week where we plug a social media we think you should check out, follow this week, or if there's been something particularly funny that we think's worth looking at. Mr. Strange, I believe you have something, but I believe it's not AEW related.
No, it's not.
It's AEW interacting.
Yes, right.
As you may have guessed from me shouting Slapjack and Nick trying to shout T-Bar.
I can't help it. My mic's too powerful. It knows I shouldn't shout at people.
Last week, Vince McMahon finished watching the Mad Max trilogy and debuted Retribution.
And Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah. No, that's nothing to do with Vinnie Mac. That's just because T-Bar goes on 4chan. Bane posting is a thing. Yeah, so Retribution came out in these weird, paper plate gimp masks and stuff, and when we are Retribution, I've got all of their names. It's Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, spelt with an S, Retaliation, and Reckoning. I'm a little bit sad because one of them is Mercedes Martinez, who I was hoping was going to go to AEW, but here we are.
But here she is in that great contract, in that Mark contract she's got now.
So, obviously, this just fucking flopped because it looked bullshit. People laughed at them. It was just fucking awful.
Other wrestlers laughed at them. That's how bad it was.
I was laughing at them oh no, poor guys, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they started posting on Twitter, just under hashtag Retribution or Slapjack T-Bob. Just fucking go for any of those. When the ratings went up for NXT versus AEW, they started posting the ratings just when they were on with just their names, these huge numbers. Jericho did a tweet taking the piss, and T-Bar just posted back the COVID breakout from his gig with the same comment. They've been posting in Bane voices like, you were only born to do this, whereas I was raised in it.
Raised in the Performance Center. Molded by the Performance Center.
And it's just fucking immense. And they've been posting all over everything, professional things, coming back to other people. They've made it so if you want to comment on other things, you've got to retweet them so they can shit post better and get more ratings. I really hope they don't just get fucking squatted. I hope they keep
Sadly, they will do, but you know.
Like Eric Rowan Spider. After they revealed that and everybody laughed at it and they smashed it, I was like, no, they should have fucking kept that power through.
Yes,
well, I think the problem is Eric Rowan didn't have a strong Twitter game. Now, we know Vince hasn't got a fucking clue about Twitter at all because
he's only just finished watching Mad Max.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not, and he doesn't understand social media. Max Cardona is the ultimate proof of this, who beat the YouTube craze, was massively over, and Vince just doesn't know how to capitalize on it. If the right person gets in the ear, and the other problem is that Vince will go, everyone laughed at it.
The only chance is if Shawn Michaels gets behind it. That's the only hope for this group. Let's be honest here. There's only one person Vince listens to, and it's Shawn Michaels.
So, yeah. I hope they get the chance. If not, well... AEW.
You all said the Dark Order was shit at the start.
Yeah,
this has got a chance to be a Dark Order.
Well, this is the thing. They knew how to do their Twitter game.
You had to play being the elite and all that jazz.
AEW has always been based off that, though. Being the elite was that. It's the perfect place. I hope Vince or Trips or someone. Not that Trips hasn't sold 40% of his WWE stock.
Yeah.
But I hope somebody can save them. I hope they're not just.
I believe it's Stephanie that sold her stock. That should have been in our news.
Well, technically, I've just remembered a couple of other little bits of news. Stephanie did sell 40% of her stock, but Trips did the same the month before. It just didn't get the thing. And
hang on. I think I remember something about that. And I have a feeling that when I read the thing about Triple H, it was like pretty normal. It's not an unusual thing.
But when your wife, who's the daughter of Vinnie Mac, does it at the same time, hoping Big Dollar Shad goes in,
buys all
their stock.
Fucking hilarious.
Actually, does an invasion angle to Shad coming out. Oh my god, it's Shad Khan.
No, it'd be the Battle of the fucking Billionaires too.
Yes, mate. That'd be brilliant.
But Shad goes over. Jesus.
Shad would go over.
Also, it looks like Warhorse is going to be signed by AEW. Now, after they've got Martinez and Pineapple Pete, I'm wondering if Vince fired a bunch of people to try and do that thing where he buys up all the indie people AEW might get again. But I don't know. It seems weird. It's madness.
What's Warhorse going to really do in their Dubsy, mate? He's got no hope.
3 matches and get buried.
He'll just get repackaged because Vince won't let him be his indie gimmick. So
yeah, but his gimmick's all he's got.
Yeah,
he's not the best wrestler. No offense to him, he's good enough, but his gimmick is what he is.
Versus John Silver in PWG is pretty good.
Yeah, right.
His match against Cody was good, but that's against Cody, and Cody. Right. So let's move on. Let's move on because we are wandering off. So it is time for our weekly review, and as always, we kick off our review with the beginning of the week, and that means BTE or Being the Elite. Quite a short one this week. What did you guys think of it? And overall, what score are we going to give it?
This one. It starts off with Silver and Reynolds trying to recruit Britt Baker. They're super excited because she has a real job, unlike the rest of them, somehow not employed. They don't have jobs.
The turn on what I thought was going to be a sexist joke was pretty good. It
was amazing.
Yeah.
And thinking that Britt Baker is a baker was brilliant. We've already got dental. We don't need a dentist.
In all honesty, I don't remember that much of this episode except for the just amazing Dark Order moments. It was every Dark Order moment was brilliant. John Silver on Reynolds' shoulders, Sue, Brody corpsed. Brody actually finally.
Oh, you beat me to it.
This motherfucker doesn't like your food. I'm sorry, Nick.
Did somebody say "little bitch" as he comes in? Was my favorite part.
Throw it again. They're having so much fun and it's infectious.
Yeah. There was a run bit from Brandon again when he was trying to steal the money from the Bucks had thrown into the roof.
That was solid.
The bit that made me sad was when they made fun of poor Five's wig. He's trying to
his hair extensions.
Yeah, sorry, hair extensions. I'm bored of Colt in his face. Even though it now seems to be over that he's now Michael Nakazawa, but I just don't care.
I quite enjoyed the turn this time.
We were gutted. We wanted it to be MJF.
Okay.
Oh, that would have been. Oh, that would have been better.
Yes.
I think this is a punchline we could have had 2 weeks ago, basically.
Yeah. I didn't care about the dinosaur dragon joke. I thought it was kind of lame. But, that's my feeling.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Brody was looking great at the start of this promo where he was two men on each other's shoulders. I thought that was
so good.
Discussing
So
feet and navels because they're 4chan
Oh, the 4chan
posters.
joke.
Yeah.
So, Morg, on 4chan, whenever anybody puts up a picture of an attractive wrestler, the first comment will always be like post feet or post navels. And so that was an in joke for the 4chan crowd. So
Right.
they're watching. They do lurk.
And this segment was just S tier, them corpsing for Sue. Just, throw it again. Like everything we've just said about this section was fucking brilliant. I thought this was excellent. I probably would have preferred someone else to be the voodoo person with Santana and Ortiz, myself, to move on to a different storyline. But, it's all right being Sue. Just a bit weird.
I quite liked it. It was a sensible chuckle. And I love watching Ortiz sell.
Ortiz and Santana sold that brilliantly. I loved it.
He rank attractive, man, Santana.
But yeah, all round for me, I think it was a really good being the Elite. I really enjoyed it.
We laughed a lot. The bits that weren't completely laughter were very short. I think it's another A, even though it was short.
It was really good.
I only have good memories of it, and I have got so many little photos to send people of John Silver on Reynolds' shoulders and shit.
It was fantastic. And it was one of the things that moved Brody up to my favorite wrestler in AEW currently. Was this segment? Yeah, I fucking love him. He's great. He's an all-rounder.
You're not wrong.
Then on to Dark.
Yeah, moving on. Oh, so what do you guys think on the score? Are we all agreeing on the A?
Yeah, really good.
Great. They keep turning on a dime with the Dark Order bits, which aren't making them stale, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, we're not getting the same jokes other than the paper throw.
I think I think a lot of that has got to be given to the Dark Order guys, because it's very obvious that the BTE segments, because of the joke we had with the Young Bucks and Brandon, is the you come up with your bit.
Yeah.
You come up with a bit. So yeah, I think those guys are just absolutely solid on it. So yeah, moving on. So Dark, another hour and a half Dark.
Oh god,
Jesus Christ, guys!
It's my area of speciality, isn't
Unfortunately, the top of my notes were, "I'm sorry, guys, I'm doing my college work during this because this is too long."
I watched all of this last night, so it's quite fresh in my mind.
You can take the lead, my friend.
Well, as usual.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to speed through then. First one, Fuego and Lewis versus the Dark Order. Fuego is really good, but he's got a 0 dimes look. I'm sorry, man. He needs to cover up that big pasty chest. Not that I'm a body guy, but...
Yeah, no. Wrestling's a lot about looks, let's be honest here. Brand's jacket was cool.
Yeah, it was. Grayson's obviously great. Uno's inside-out flatliner thing was cool.
That is my only note about this fight. That flatliner was fucking baller. It's my only note.
Trying to get over their finishers. It was fine. Not really worth loitering on, unless you've got anything to say more.
No, I've got notes for 2 matches.
All right, cool. Just stop me then.
Yep.
Stop me if you want to. Starks versus Christopher Daniels. This is on my list of ones to actually
Good
watch.
Match. This was great.
Wasn't that smooth to the start? They weren't as comfortable with each other as I was expecting, but it was still solid. Not enough to criticize. CD almost botched the Arabian press again, but he actually saved it there, and they commented on it.
Yeah,
and I quite like the spear finish from Starks. He didn't have to Rochambeau. It was showing a variety of things. That was good.
It's always good to have multiple finishes. It just makes you look like a stronger character. I like it.
Yeah. Puff and Calvin versus Butcher and the Blade. Now,
I like Puff's entrance, apparently.
Puff is like Viscera for me. He's crossed that level of too big. Yeah. I'm sorry, boys.
Then my next comment is, "Where's your wife, Blade?"
Hey, Blade, where's your wife?
And then my only comment about this match was if Puff had to haul ass, he would have to take 2 trips, which was a comment from Taz, which made me fucking pissed.
Calvin had some chop bruises on him when he came out. You can skip this match.
100%.
Butch and the Blade looked good, but it wasn't a great match. Hobbs versus Serpentico. Serpentico is buffing the fuck up.
I've got to make a comment here. Somebody on commentary said he was a fellow member of Chaos, and I don't think Okada let either of Serpentico or Luther into fucking...
no, they're called Chaos something. And
yeah, whatever.
They are called something Chaos or Chaos something. That is what...
The Nightmare Chaos.
Or something like that.
Sure. Chaos has got Chaos in NJPW has got more fucking members than like the Wolf Pack.
I know it does, but those two still wouldn't be in it. Let's be honest here, mate.
Tom Cruise might be. Anyway, Serpentico's buffing up. Will Hobbs doesn't need to buff up. He is a sculpted wall of a man. Match was fine. I don't think it actually was a particularly good match. It did just show Hobbs as a beast, and his spine buster is fucking great, and Taz put it over like
Taz and Starks made Hobbs in this
You've got to avoid that. Yeah, they did. They just talked, and I think that was the point of it. I don't necessarily think the match is worth watching unless you want to watch one massive dude slap a silly string man.
Quick rant. He's gone back to the coloured string and it looks stupid.
Go back to white. Looks like Venom.
Yeah, all white looks much better. Carry on.
Okay.
Listen to our goth. Smiley and Stardom versus the Lucha Brothers. I've actually opened my notes here with fuck you, Muir. Their gimmick is being gangstery. Because last week I said their gimmick was really good and couldn't remember what their gimmick actually was. You called me out on it. So fuck you. They've got like this gangstery gimmick and they've actually got a really good look. I prefer Smiley to Stardom. I think he's the taller one. Not too sure.
How dare he use that name?
Anyway, the match didn't have the smoothest start. Phoenix looks like he was using it to practice a bunch of new moves, like that roll through the rope submission thing he did. But it did pick up quite a bit after the Penta hot tag, and we had a few more sequences.
I do like that Lucha Brothers gave them, full opportunity to get their moves in. I didn't feel like they were squished. It was great. Squashed.
Started off fine and it went to good. I'd recommend watching this one. And the Lucha Brothers did a Paradise Lock. I love the Paradise
Lock. It's fucking
As long as you don't leave it too long, it's great. And I love the new Penta driver as their finisher. I think it's a cool looking move.
Yeah.
Even if the camera angle didn't help in that one, and it was quite clear Stardom's head didn't hit the floor.
No. But
that's on the recommended list. Rising and Gold versus 15. I'm really happy Rising's still about. I think he's got a great look. I think he's got great persona, and I think he will be a good upper middle card character.
Yes.
Rising was even doing crowd work when you go their pre-show crowd of or post-show crowd of 15 people. He was trying to build them up. I was like, oh, poor Rising, you've got your instincts going, but there's no one there. 10th Ripcord Cutter was cool as shit. I thought that was a wicked combo.
He's getting a lot better, isn't he?
And Gold did, who just looked like generic creator wrestler, did a great. He ran at the corner,
jumped the ropes,
onto the top rope, and moonsaulted to his feet.
Yep,
it was really good.
It was a bit clumsy, but it was a great match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, 15 quite haven't got their tag moves down yet, and apparently have infinite amount of time in the ring together. When they did that last sequence, 5 must have been in there with 10 for about a minute.
Yeah,
I was just going, come on now.
You can tell 10's a bit, I'm not sure where I should be sometimes. You got to give him a bit, but 5's carrying him. So, it's
I did really like the foot slam, the foot stomp to power slam finishing move.
Mate.
I thought that was a really nice different combo, especially with the angled kick to add the momentum. It was solid. It just wasn't. It was a good C rank match.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I like the progression that I'm seeing in 10 because he seems to be getting better every time I see him. So,
I'm waiting for Morg's notes to come in. Which 2 matches did he care about?
Yeah. Jesus, so many matches. We're already halfway through at this point, I think.
Blackwood and Garcia versus the Midnight Express, and I can call them the Midnight Express because they are now the Midnight Express. Given the name by the old Midnight Express solely for the purpose of pissing off Jim Cornette, would you believe?
Beautiful.
Oh, fair play.
That is a good way.
Yes. Yeah, after Jim Cornette ripped on them so much and, jelly, Nutella, etc., and being
Yep.
overly judgmental of Sonny's gimmick, I can appreciate thinking
It's not for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, but, fucking shitting on them and being Jim Cornette. So the old Midnight Express were like, nah, we're too old now. You could be the Midnight Express. Isn't that cool?
It's brilliant. I love shit like that. Just to wind up the crotchety old man.
Well, the great thing about it is it's a couple of old men doing it as well.
Yeah.
And it was, I believe the Midnight Express was his tag team.
Yeah,
that he was the manager for. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's even better, mate.
Fuck you, Cornette.
Throwing it in there. Yeah. He should just be put in a museum to talk about old wrestling. Like, his actual knowledge is fucking phenomenal.
Like, if you just had him cut on bits like, what was he on Dark Side of the Ring? He was fantastic on that because they could just cut the good bits of him into it. It was just fantastic. He's just...
Right, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, back onto the show. Yeah. We can't afford another 10-minute conversation about Jim Cornette. Anyway, Blackwood and Garcia versus the Midnight Express. I was really worried about this because I've been judgmental of Sonny and Janela in the past for not being that smooth and not getting other people over. And this had that slower start, and I was like, oh, where's it going to go? And it was only solid. And Blackwood and Garcia looked really good.
Yeah.
The brown-haired one, Garcia?
I think it's Garcia, but could be wrong.
It's very good. Looked very aggressive, but his timing needed some work. Janela and Sonny did loads of good moves, put other people over. Janela's routine of little sequence of hitting the man with the other man was great, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I don't like being people pulled over the rope. Yeah, I'd recommend watching this. I actually had a good time watching this, and I've been one of their biggest attractors later. Thank you, Englishman. Anyone else?
I think they're starting to come together as a tag team now. And maybe we're seeing that thing that we keep seeing in AEW, whereby we don't like something at the beginning or you don't like something at the beginning. And it starts to grow on you because they iron out the kinks.
It's weird with Sonny and Janela because I liked them originally. Then I started to not like them. And now they've come back up. So, yeah. They've worked out their gimmick, and they're not doing some of the overly complicated moves like trying to stand on one turnbuckle at the same time and stuff, really did.
Yeah, there's not enough. There's not a lot of delays in their matches again because there was a lot of stall in their matches. And anything in wrestling can look fine as long as it's fast. It's when you slow it down is the big issue when it comes to high spots. So, yeah, they're getting better.
Solid match. Watch that one. That's on my recommended list.
No, it's good.
I hope our listeners are taking notes of how I now do this. Guns versus Mabadu and Cruz. Is Cruz's gimmick a neck beard? You remember he came out, he had roses, a little fedora?
Yeah, I guess so. No, yeah, you make a good point. I want
like
Billy
he says,
to beat him
Milady.
up. Yeah. Get him, Billy.
I love Austin being a twat, dancing like Ricky and stuff. I hope he gets a push-in show too.
He will do.
This wasn't the best match. It was fine, in my opinion. I enjoy Billy's comedy strengths off with Mabadu, and I think Mabadu's got fucking legs.
Yeah.
He did have a couple of awkward moments, like he took a tiaras from Austin and sort of fell in slow motion afterwards. Was like, ugh. But yeah, it was a solid match. I like the fact that Billy says something different whenever he's in the Fameasser position. Like this time, he was like, "Yeah, you know what it is." Did the crosses, then ran off, and he's done a different one each time he's done it, and I'm quite enjoying that. I think the match could have been a bit more exciting and in there, but
it's still my favorite Billy Gunn. Like of all the Billy Gunns I've seen throughout the years, he's still my favorite this time because he just looks like he's having so much fucking fun.
It's infectious, though, isn't it? Like Taz, Excalibur, and Vader laughing together.
Yeah.
Ricky wasn't the best on commentary, but he didn't ruin himself, in my opinion.
No.
But and they're having fun, and the people in the ring are having fun. That's what I used to love the most from Dark.
Yeah.
Just if only the match had been a bit more exciting, if I'm honest. Another match to watch is next. It's on my tick list. King versus Deeb.
Oh, yeah. Deeb's real good, though, isn't she? Well, she's not real good, but she's good.
She's good.
Sorry.
She was good back in the days when she was one of the only good wrestlers in WWE.
I actually made very few notes on this match because I actually sat and watched it. There were a couple of possibly awkward. If I had to, when I find criticisms, it's that a lot of Deeb's moveset clearly aren't designed for somebody of King's size.
No,
shall
she's
we
too
say?
big. She's too tall.
And that's no one's fault. Your
No.
average wrestling woman's like between 5'6" and 5'9" ish.
Not 6'2" or whatever King is.
Not 6'2". But I had a really good time in this. I could tell Deeb was going to win because obviously she had the match with Thunder Rosa, and she's going to get hot shotted up. But you could tell she was obviously the vet in this match. I mean, I like King, and I'm excited for where she's going. But Deeb just had so much control, so much smoothness. I enjoyed it. I would recommend watching this match. Maybe our women's expert has more on it.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was quite smooth. It was a good match. It was certainly high C, if not a B. It was really good. I like Serena Deeb anyway. I didn't know who was going to win. I wasn't sure whether Serena was being brought in to help give Kylan her first win. And that stayed with me through the match.
Good.
I think about it too much at the start, you see.
Yeah, you see, I didn't. Because I was very much on the, now, have they signed Serena Deeb? Or have they, because she was a perfect person to bring in to have the match with, was it Thunder Rosa? Yeah, with Thunder Rosa. Because you had a solid hand to work with Thunder Rosa. So yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know that Deeb had been signed. I'm quite pleased that she has been. That gives them another
really good for backstage for them, just like helping out. Teach the less experienced wrestlers on the roster. That's what you need her for.
Yeah,
to have good matches with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. I think she's one of those people that she's going to be our female Cody. Serena, that's my prediction.
Possible.
She's going to be our female Cody. She will be our workhorse. You will be able to rely on her to get a C match out of anyone.
Yeah, fair.
And I'm looking forward to seeing her versus Anna Jay.
Oh yeah, Anna Jay just needs a more exciting finisher. I don't.
She needs more. She needs more time. Yeah.
Okay. 2 matches left. Carter versus Lee.
This is where I have comments.
Right, this is a good start. Start off with a handshake. I like the showing of the 2 young faces who could possibly rise. Carter does the pack flips, the hand to foot, hand to foot thing. I hope that doesn't diminish Pac doing it when he comes back.
No.
Some of the selling to strikes could be polished up, if I'm completely honest. There was a lot of just no response. There was a drop kick to Lee on the top turnbuckle. It was
very performance-y, not wrestling, this match. Much, it was good, but, it didn't feel like a fight, did it?
I mean, commentary put this over like fuck, and I really enjoyed lots of this, and I enjoy a luchary match.
I'm trying to give you power back, mate.
And this is on my list of ones to watch. I would watch this match. I would say 100%. Watch this. I don't know why you go for a finish of a frog splash after you've just done a Spanish fly. A Spanish fly that slides into a kick to the face as well. That is a finishing move.
Yes, mate.
Now, I appreciate the history of the frog splash. I appreciate Los Guerreros and Eddie and all of the lucha stuff. But it doesn't look as good as a Spanish fly sliding into a kick to the face.
No, it does not, mate.
And I think Lee deserved the win. Ben Carter is very good, very British, very whatever, but he has just come in, and Lee has been losing and has been shown in a plot line with MJF.
Yeah, he could have done with that win.
It's a very good display of lucha-style gimmicks and lucha-style matches, but it's gone a bit too early Young Bucks as opposed to Takahashi.
Yeah.
The strikes could have been sold a bit more. Some of the moves, they could have lingered a bit longer. It was just a little bit more pacing, boys. Just a little bit more pacing.
Comes with experience, though, don't it?
My response is that was awesome. When you've got the wrestling crowd chanting "This is awesome," because they are all wrestlers, it's good. The commentary team, the heels couldn't say anything bad. Ricky Starks was fucking amazing in this, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. Ricky Starks was amazing in this because he shut up, and it wasn't that. It was when he made the comment at the end when he said, "I'm really sorry, I haven't been commentating on this. I've just been really enjoying this match." This was a classic cruiserweight style match. Again, I didn't know who was going to win because I didn't know who the new guy
This is the one I did not
was.
know.
I don't have a problem with Ben Carter if he's their new guy and if they're going to superstar him. I have a feeling he is going to prove his work over this over the next couple of weeks, and over this
he's
over
one of
this
the ones
review.
That's meant to be, having COVID. So.
Unfortunately, or been in contact with.
Yeah.
And my last comment is actually good luck with the main roster to follow that. I really enjoyed this match, but I agree with you on the selling, but that is always a problem in the cruiserweight style matches.
Yeah.
Those style matches, they never sell. It's all about getting to the next big move.
If you class as a high speed match, which is a term that I picked up from Stardom, then it's fantastic. If you catch it as a wrestling match, then it's you know.
Completely agree.
I don't want to seem overly critical. Like I did really enjoy.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
10% more selling would have won it for me. Yeah, for me. But yeah, no, it's on my list of ones to actually watch. And sadly, I was disappointed with the last match. Kingston versus Pillman, and I really like Kingston. I like his body language. I like his dirty.
I shouldn't be laughing, but just every time I think of Kingston, it's just hey Blade. Where's your wife?
And his popular Twitter picture. I like Kingston's body language. I like his dirty tactician get him out. I like a bunch of his no selling when he looks like he's genuinely puffing through it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure him and Pillman gel well together. I think Pillman's probably a bit too athletic for Eddie, who's a brawly style person. And Eddie's 100%. A bit too brawly for Pillman to get his stuff over.
Yeah.
Pillman's pump handle bomb thing is fucking wicked, though. I love that. And as much as I know the roll the dice, Eddie spinning back fist has been his finisher for ages, I just don't think it's a good finisher.
No. I would agree with you there. It was a huge styles clash was the issue here. And, unfortunately, as much as like Kingston, he has to have certain matches these days. Let's be honest with you. He ain't a flippy man. He's got to be in those brawling matches, and Pillman's not for that. So it just was a bit awkward. But,
It just chilled me out too much after the last one. Yeah, Carter versus Lee. I was like, whoa! And then I was like, I'm a bit bored.
Yeah.
You got anything on the last one, Morg? Or are you with us?
I think that this should have been the second to last match, and that Lee Johnson and Carter should have been the main event.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, although you've got the big name, you'd have been just making a big thing about pushing, and especially with Carter getting the win, you'd have been making a big thing about pushing this young new star.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it would have dropped the pace down, so we're even more hyped for what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to rank the overall dark because it's just so long. So here are 5 match recommendations from this week's dark.
That shows how many matches there are in this. You recommend 5 of them, and that's only like a third. Jesus Christ!
That's a show. And none of these are short squash matches either. This is like a full hour of wrestling. Starks versus Christopher Daniels. As I said, it's a little bit clumsy in places, but a really good match. Smiley and Stardom versus the Lucha Brothers. Just good, and I'm enjoying Smiley and Stardom with their gimmick, which is gangsters. Blackwood and Garcia versus the Midnight Express. It just shows how great they're all coming on. Everybody gets over. King versus Deeb for the hope of the women's division. And Carter versus Lee for all of the cruiserweight lucha possible madness you could want. Everything else you can just sort of skip through. Depends on how much you like wrestling.
So now we move on. And this week we had an extra special late night Dynamite, which was an extra hour of wrestling.
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Well, there is possibly an upside to this. So we kick off with JR, Schiavone, Excalibur. Jericho jumps out and joins on commentary. I love Jericho.
He's always great
walking off and getting them to sing his song. The first match we kick off with is Ben Carter versus Scorpio Sky.
Jesus.
And I'm like, oh, my comment from Dark may about to be irrelevant. What did you guys think of this match? And most importantly, what score did you give this match?
This was just fucking solid. It was a great display for Carter. Take into account, I saw this before the Lee one, versus Lee match. It was just all of the spots, and it was great. Carter did a moonsault, top rope moonsault to reverse DDT, and it was fucking perfect. It's like how I describe Penelope Ford's fucking Hurricanranas when she goes. It was so smooth, and Carter's obviously a star in the making. Scorpio is always great. I always say he's beautiful and graceful. He's like a fucking tiger poured into a man. He's so smooth. It was great.
Carter's like a collie poured into a man.
I gave it a B on just raw story. If there was story to it, that could have possibly been an A. But
yes, it was just a random match, though. That was the problem for this match.
I really enjoyed it. It was really good, and just that 10% more selling, that 10% less instant pop up,
10% less arm drags give you back HP.
the based in truth build.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Muir?
Oh, yeah, this was fantastic. It was a solid B. If it had been built up with a story, it would have been easily an A, but it was just a match. So, yeah, solid B from me.
So I went B/A. I really enjoyed this match. I watched this morning.
It's
about
great.
an hour before.
You lucky bastard. Fresh in your mind.
Yeah. This was really good. I didn't look away. I watched the whole thing. This was with me going, so this was the last thing I watched. I watched an hour and a half of Dark. I watched Dynamite with the Raptor. I watched half of Dark yesterday. I finished watching Dark, I think. So I watched half of Dark in the morning, half of Dark in the evening. In the afternoon, the Raptor came home. We watched Dynamite, and I watched this morning. And I was still watching the whole of this match. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was another classic cruiserweight style match. High speed match. Did you say is the name to give it?
It's the name in Stardom, what they call it, and I like that term for it. It's just a high speed match where you don't actually take damage. It's just all down to speed, and I think they're great myself, but.
Yeah, just powering through at high speed, with enough spots and bounces.
Yeah, then we move on to the problem with this. I felt that this was the first match. Like, it was so good, and then we moved on to Brandy versus Anna Jay.
I mean, it's all right. We're going to finish with a fucking Chad spot. To our listeners, we've lost Morg, but we're going to carry on without him.
He'll come back. So Stardom strange while he's gone. Oh no, he's back.
Oh shit, he's onto us.
Oh damn it.
So Anna Jay versus Brandy. We're onto the women's.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this, and I've been a massive detractor of the other. I'm not going to say it's good, Nick. Don't worry.
Please.
It was
a match.
Fine. It was a match. Brandy's strikes still need work, but she has improved otherwise. Anna Jay did a back rake. I got really excited. That's in my notes. One of my favourite moves. It wasn't terrible. It was fine. It was like it would be an average women's filler match if it wasn't the end of an arc with a story that's only lasted 2 weeks. I mean, don't get me wrong. Extra story props for the fact that Anna Jay won. Even though I think the rear naked choke is a bad finisher.
I'm not entirely convinced it's over yet.
No, Brandy's got to get the win back, obviously. Come on, boy.
It's the rise of the Nightmare people. More on that later.
We do need the Nightmare people back.
We do need a rise of them. They've been losing so badly. But yeah, it was a match. Morg, now you're back. What did you think of Anna Jay versus Brandy?
C match. So before I went into this, I actually said to the Raptor last night, well, this will be the tester for me for Anna Jay as to whether she's the prodigy I feel she is.
What, carrying Brandy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Biggest of oofs.
It's not wrong.
I love Brandy. I think she is an absolutely lovely person. She's a fantastic promo.
Yeah, she's fantastic outside the ring. She's just not good in the ring.
She's just stilted. She was less stilted in this, though. She was a lot smoother. So yeah, fingers crossed. This is a look up.
For AEW Women's, I give this a solid C.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sick.
Mr. Strange. Just a quick catch up. Sky won with the TKO on Ben Carter versus Scorpio Sky, because I can't remember whether I said it. And
No.
Anna Jay wins with the Queen Slayer on this match. Then we move on to Matt Sydal versus Sean Spears with Tully. Spears wins with the C4. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Before we go into this, I'm going to point out the fact that there was a Matt Sydal and Scorpio promo so meaningless and pointless that you just skipped it entirely.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
This is where Ruth started ripping on Sydal, because Sydal does not have good promo game. I'm sorry, unless you like, sort of like whispery voiced hippie people.
I think the issue with Sydal is he was real good back in the day, and now people have surpassed him. I think that's the issue.
I don't think he was ever a particularly good promo. It was all
No,
about
not
work.
promo. I mean, like ring
It was all
work as
shooting
well.
star.
Yeah.
We said I really like him, and I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
I'll get to it in a minute. But like, I kept having to show Ruth clips to go, no, he is really good. She was like, I don't believe it. All he did was run into a ring, fail, and now he's got this.
Faced Ruth.
The fucking audacity of this match. Ruth did not stop shit talking him through the entirety of this match. She wasn't playing on her. She was playing on her phone, so she didn't see anything cool he did, which made it worse.
That's so Ruth. That's brilliant.
This was obviously a solid technical match.
Yeah.
Sydal is great. He did an over the top rope leg lariat, which was just fucking insane. He did that reverse neck breaker leg thing into drop. I'm glad he's really good after what happened in the.
I loved him wiping the perspiration off the top before he did the move off the top of the turnbuckle.
Clever bastard. He's learned.
My angriest moment at Ruth's shit talking was when she missed his standing corkscrew moonsault he did, which is a move I have only seen. I think I've seen Naito do it from the top rope, and I think Ibushi can do it, and Ibushi is the perfect man. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Spears knows every move in wrestling. Brought to you by Muir Goroshi.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, go on. Old technically.
He's just fantastic at everything. He knows every wrestling move. He's just such a great veteran to have in your roster.
And he pulls off, he can slow the pace down, he's got the classic heel look. I'm a Spears fanboy, where we know that. I really enjoyed this, and I hope we get to see more of these two together, if I'm honest. But then again, I hope to see Spears elevated to bigger scale matches.
We need a second show. It's starting to really need a second show if you're going to have this much talent.
Or make Dark better.
Yes, or make Dark better. I'd like to point out that through all of this and through all of Dark, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes, we have one promo.
Yeah, just make it into another show. No, fair enough.
I gave this match a B. I really enjoyed it. This is exactly my sort of combination of styles, old school. It had brawling, it had flippy shit. I loved it.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a B as well. I really enjoyed it. As much as the Sydal shit posting. Yeah, he's still very good, don't get me wrong.
Fucking audacity.
B/A from me. Again, mainly because of the same reasons as the other two B/As I've given them recently. Just because it was such a solid flippy moves, and there was story going, and they told story in there, the story about the glove and getting the slug into it.
Tiny bit about wiping ropes. They had a little bit of backstory from the thing.
The problem is you're not going to remember it in a week, because we'll have 2,000 other matches to have watched by then.
It wasn't an S rank. So we're nearly there, guys.
What was next?
Foxstone.
Dynamite.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? I thought I'd just finished. I thought I hadn't finished my notes. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Right. So, Dynamite. We start off with JR Excalibur and Shivani on commentary, and the first match is Kip Sabian.
Whoa. We can't miss out the sign of Anna Jay choke me out in the crowd. Boys, come on. We can't miss that.
Oh,
go on, Morg.
The one I noticed was I'm 4 and I came to see Mox. Kip
Oh.
Sabian plus with Anne Miro with Penelope Ford versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, or as we now know, the Midnight Express. Miro and Kip win with the Game Over, formerly the Accolade. What did you guys think of the match? What score did you give it?
I'm going to open up with criticizing the Joey Janela weird relationship insult promo at the start. That was a bit weird. I'm not down with that. But I'm going to roll into the match. Miro's looking phenomenal, and he is fucking meat-shaped. He's just massive. He did a single-handed slam to Janela that was just like a phenomenal show of strength.
Yep.
And just fucking enjoyed it. I wouldn't say the match that was great.
It wasn't
I didn't
even
hate
good, I'd say.
anything. I didn't hate anything, but I wasn't
wasn't
really
a good match.
that
I
into
don't
it.
think.
Miro did a rope no sell on Joey. That was pretty fucking badass. It's just a shame he fell instantly afterwards. Some of Kip and Miro's tag team stuff needs work. It was fine. It wasn't bad, but I was hoping for more for the start. Maybe they were hoping Kip, with his experience with Joey, would give him more of an edge or something. But I don't know. I think maybe you should have opened with Miro, with him fighting somebody who he's got a bit more experience with or could manhandle. I gave it a C, but I really expected more from the introduction of this famous man that everybody's hyped to me.
I think there's a serious issue here with it didn't make Miro look strong at all. I thought he looked shit. He didn't look strong at all from this because he was against Joey Janela and the Midnight Express now, sorry. And they never make anyone look strong, and it just wasn't good. Everything looked awkward. I don't think it was a good build for Miro at all. And why are we replaying this? Oh God, she went off with him arc again, which I fucking hate, this relationship arc. Come on. No, it wasn't good for me. It was a low C.
Oh, Morg, you're our resident Rusev Noah.
We really enjoyed this. We really enjoyed this. But a lot of that will be the nostalgia of seeing Miro in a ring, seeing how happy he is, seeing how sculpted he looks now. He was never not in shape, but the guy has done what Mox did, and you guys did when he came back after. Yeah, he has just bulked up. He has not put on lockdown weight. He has been working out. I love Miro. Oh, one thing we didn't mention from BTE is the fact that apparently Miro is a true tweener. Apparently he hangs out in both the heel and the face locker rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. Which is interesting. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it a B-, B/C. I'm happy to downgrade that I don't get a choice, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was good, but a lot of that might have been our nostalgia for getting to see Miro and see him looking happy as well.
It is nice to see him happy.
Infectious.
Yeah, it is nice to see him happy and everything, but I would also like a good match in my wrestling show. It was just
it's a C, mate. Yeah. We don't need to round it up. We've got the scale. Morg really knows him and likes him. You sort of know him and like him, and I know nothing.
Yeah,
it's the balance.
No, 100%.
So following on from that, we had an Eddie Kingston promo where he calls out Mox. Mox comes out, pull apart brawl. Quick setup to let everyone know about the changed match.
Solid.
I really liked it. He called him a sports entertainer. He said outlaws and stuff. It's a good old Eddie promo.
It was great.
He's an NWA King's Road boy, and it just shows in everything he does. And I loved it.
Yeah, it was solid.
So following on from that, Kenny Omega comes out and joins the commentary team, and we have Evil Uno versus Hangman. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
A little bit unfair that Kenny gets pyros to go to the announcer's desk. I mean, I'm just saying. Just going to go commentate on this match?
I mean, he is EVP or whatever the fuck the titles are, so he can do what he wants. That he eats first, mate.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match, obviously. It was really nice showing for Uno as a singles, and it's really Paige was doing more working the crowd and stuff, so they're obviously building him up for this singles sort of career thing. Then a big Land Rover symbol appeared on the screen.
I know that. I needed to make a comment on that.
It broke down a bit for the commercial break. It was a bit slow then, But, Kenny was still good on the mic. The match was just really solid. I had a really good time. It really picked up for the ending. Page can do a running, standing shooting star so well. Uno can get his knees up midway from the
I think it should be a finisher. I really think that shooting star press should be a finisher. That running, it's so good.
The buckshot lariat, though.
I know, but he should have multiple finishers,
I only gave it a C, apparently. I think that's because it started a bit slower, then picked up towards the end, and the break was really slow and hurt it a bit for me. But once again, like a high C, a good match, in my opinion.
I think it was a really good match. I really like that Kenny keeps going on about how he's, going to have this singles run and stuff like that, but he's just hindering himself by not wrestling. I really like that bit of storytelling because Page is getting all these singles matches because he's refusing to, tag match. So
yeah, good point.
I think that's quite cool. It was a solid match. I gave it a low B, but it was solid.
Low B from me also. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was Page. He's getting to that point now.
Yeah, he's getting ready for his future star or incredible twist and back to the tag league. You never know.
But yeah, he's getting to that point. I thought his crowd work, the work within. I wasn't sure what Uno would be like in a singles match. Obviously, all wrestlers are good, and I know that's very much a commentator thing. When they say, "Oh, but then they're normally a tag team."
Yeah.
But
they're such a tag team.
Genuinely didn't know what Uno would be like. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Yeah. Gets a B from me. Low B, but it gets a B. B/C.
I'm outvoted this time. It's an vote for each of us this round. Yeah, solid. Good.
Then we had a Matt Jackson backstage promo with Tony Schiavone where he breaks his phone.
I really enjoyed this.
I really enjoyed it. I actually ranked this and gave it a B. Because Matt's the best one of the mic. And essentially, Matt Jackson seems to be playing one of my LARP characters now. Or basically what I'm like if you have to role play with me.
It was so good. Give me your phone. Crunch. No.
I'm excited for shitty heel books.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's interesting, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, all about the money.
Yeah, man.
Following on from that, Orange Cassidy versus Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. Brody wins with the discus lariat. We'll leave what happens after that. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Fucking Chikara match, man. I was really excited. This is 100 Fire Ant versus Brody.
Sorry.
Good start with the kicks and the counter to it and how it works. It was a bit slow at the start after that. Brody is looking cut as fuck, and his standing elbow drop is beautiful.
I like how he's playing a heel more now. He's just like slow. Well, not slow and lumbering, but he's more, he's got more
methodical.
Presence. Yeah, he's got more presence now. He's not trying to do small man moves. He's more just trying to be, big man. Because I always thought he looked ridiculous when he was trying to move fast because the ring's like 2 steps for him and it just looked weird.
He's such a long boy.
Yeah.
The Cassidy comeback was good and fun. I enjoyed it. And just how it's sold as Brody basically being a Terminator. He just doesn't go down. Great end set of sequences. I sort of felt a C rank for the overall match because there was some slow and awkward at the start, but it fucking rocked up to a B at the end for me. So I think it's a high C, low B for me.
The only issue with it for me is how strong is Dustin after this match? Because, Brody's just beating Orange Cassidy, who's beating Jericho. And Dustin fucking destroyed Brody, only just like slipped up at the end. So, how strong's Dustin? Was my main issue with this match.
God damn it,
old man strength, old man veteran strength.
Okay.
The inability to put
this is why you don't fuck with Arn Anderson.
Inability to put people over.
But Brody did fuck with Arn Anderson.
Yeah, but he blindsided him. Yeah, he blindsided him.
Fair.
Had he missed, Arn would have just hit him with one clothesline and Brody's head would be still sailing its way over to the UK.
A big line would go across the screen.
I gave it a C+. C/B for me. So, Mr. Muir, you have the casting vote.
D. Oh, I think we all agreed. It basically just had not enough to round it up. There was a lot of good in there, but not quite just enough to accelerate it to the next rank.
So, following on from that, we had the bit that was spoiled for both me and the Raptor. Lights go out, and Cody returns with his new black hairdo. Basically, does a beat down on the Dark Order. I'm sure some people would have had a problem with this. I didn't, because I think it is the correct babyface return. But what did you think of the return?
Cody 2 entrances.
Cody 2 entrances.
I didn't like how people didn't know it was fucking Cody apart from Schiavone. It's like, it's fucking obviously Cody coming out. Why doesn't anybody know this as soon as the start hit?
This soundtrack sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I will always pop for a man in a waistcoat with a pocket watch, though.
Yeah, you look baller.
I would disagree. Ruth disagreed with me, but black on black isn't the best waistcoat to shirt color, in my opinion. Those who know me particularly well may know that I have a bit of a thing for like the waistcoat, pocket watch, gentleman to cowboy look. Yeah, it was solid. I didn't hate it, but I can't say I loved it. I think we could have gone a couple more weeks without him.
100% agree.
And his heel turn / well, we don't know what's going to happen. He's got a bleedy nightmare symbol now, and I am excited for what's to come.
The rise of the nightmare people.
And I didn't hate anything that came from it. I think it's got good legs. It's probably the best way to see it. It's the start of a new arc, so I need that moment to get into it.
Go on.
As long as he doesn't win the belt back, I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, as long as he doesn't win the belt back without help, and I'm just going to say one word to you, and it's a number. 4.
Oh no, he has to go against them. He's a Rhodes. Oh no, we can join him and they'll betray him.
That's the big sellout.
There we are.
Then we had a Brody Lee backstage promo. Did you rank it? What did you think of it? And
did we rank it?
Yes.
This was fucking big dick 80s power energy.
It was so good.
Dude, Instagram thirst traps.
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
This is S tier promo. I was so happy to see him talk. This was beautiful.
I will take this collar and wrap it around that god awful tattoo. I only gave it an A due to it's not an S due to microphone management.
Yeah.
I love this. This is everything I wanted. That is This is the man that Vince McMahon wouldn't let talk. And he came in with big dick 80s energy. He came in with meta references. He came in with modern slang with calling Brandy a thirst trap. Great. I loved it. This is what he needed like a couple of weeks back. I loved
100%.
it. And I'm giving it an A.
No, this is what made Brody for me. I thought it was fantastic, and it's great heel work. It was just perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was A from me.
Okay, well, I put it down as a solid promo. I didn't rank it. It felt very old school. The bit that put me off was the dog collar. That worries me.
A dog collar match, yeah.
Because that's the danger of touching all 4 turnbuckles.
Yeah, Cody though, mate.
Oh no,
it's Cody.
Oh, no.
It's the one we ripped on last week.
Yeah, the one I didn't understand. Now I have the horror of as the memories come back.
It may be that.
I
be
don't
wrong.
think it will be that though. I think they'll do something that isn't shit because I trust Cody. Hopefully.
It's going to be a good match. Okay, moving on after that, we had Matt Hardy and Private Party in-ring promo, and then with the Inner Circle. Did you rank this promo? What did you think of it?
I did rank it. I think this is, you know how everybody's scripted in WWE, and then sometimes you get fantastic like Brody promo just earlier, but then you get something like this because people aren't scripted, and I would happily have 5 of these to gain one of the Brody promos, but this was not good. This was awkward.
It wasn't that exciting.
No.
Matt called the Lion Tamer the Walls of Jericho, which
Yep.
it legally isn't anymore.
No.
He fucked up.
No,
The more things change, the more
they do refer to it as
What?
the Walls of Jericho. I believe that he has the rights to that
Oh, do
name.
they?
Yeah. There is, in my opinion, there is a difference between the Lion Tamer and the Walls.
100%. The Lion Tamer is 100% worse, and you still see it in Stardom. Like, no one else does the Lion Tamer anymore because it's fucking.
Oh, I
shouldn't be done.
prefer the Lion Tamer to the Walls. I think it looks better.
Yeah, but it's dangerous as fuck. That's why.
Oh, right. I see what you mean. Sorry,
Yeah.
I get your meaning now. I thought you
Yeah.
meant.
You need tiny, bendy Japanese women to do
Play, yeah.
Well, the Lion,
you need Russian
the Lion
gymnasts.
Tamer is to me. I've always thought that the Lion Tamer is the more standing up.
Yeah.
Boston
it
Crab,
is.
the one where he stands up and it's more
And it's
just
all on
the,
your neck and head.
Yeah, and then the Walls is his standard.
Yeah, it's a standard double leg Boston Crab. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm ripping on this promo section.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, this is going to be interesting because, yeah, but go on.
Did you enjoy it?
No, but I'll get to it in a minute.
Okay, fair enough.
Fucked up. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Then Jericho came out, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, Jericho's
Someone's going to save
out.
it.
Not Prone the Powerful PMP, Private Party.
Okay.
Because everything's written in abbreviations.
Yes,
my
mate.
brain.
I have that problem also.
They need a bit more work. It surprised me a bit that Asaya was better on the mic than Quen, as Quen is typically looked at as the Michaels.
No.
But ending with Le Champion Bitch, it's like when Scorpio Sky did his one before his feud.
Yeah, that was
and it
terrible as well.
Yeah. And he ended it with maybe I turn Le Champion into Le Champion Bitch. And Asaya ended with maybe I make you Le Champion. No, it was maybe I make Le Champion Le Bitch with Scorpio Sky. And this one was, it was the same finish, basically, except worse done because he added champion in it.
Yeah.
It's just, please stop giving Matt Hardy ring time. You can get Private Party over. They're very good in the ring.
They don't need him.
If they're going to need somebody to promo them, what I'm going to recommend is a man who shouts and says how cool they are, as opposed to a 40-something-year-old who stands and talks in like a shoot way in the ring.
Yeah, I don't think Matt Hardy adds anything to them. I really don't think he does.
I don't think he does. So, Raptor commented it was nice to see the Private Party boys talk and actually be able to talk and cut a good promo. It was a C. They cut C solid promos. I didn't like the ending. And I did feel that he completely and utterly stole the Orange Cassidy thing, actually, from a couple of weeks ago, which is what happened. But at the same time, if that's going to be Jericho's gimmick, which makes it doubly hilarious that the reason that Matt hates Jericho is because Jericho's not putting over the younger guys, when of course what Jericho is actually doing is putting over all the younger guys. But that's just that is proper irony. So yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't. Think
I kind of did.
I didn't hate it. It was all right. It was there. It was a bit of wallpaper. It set up a match that I'm interested in next week.
What if it turns into they lose, then they lose, and then they win? What if it's just the same arc again?
I have a feeling actually this is going to lead more into who was that masked man who attacked Matt Hardy.
I'll see where it goes, but for me, it brought the show down, and it lost it pacing.
It was nearly a D for me, if not
it was
a D.
A D for me.
Okay,
I gave it a D.
If you're giving it a D, I can agree with that then.
So then we had another in-ring promo.
God.
FTR with Tully in-ring promo. Again, did you give it a score? What did you think of it?
So Tully's playing back.
Thank God they've got Tully. Thank God they've got Tully.
So Tully's playing it back into his old when he had the tag belts with Arn of you only get 20 minutes and if you don't beat us, we keep it. You know, we count it as a win.
Is that a retro thing?
Yeah. Which is really good. It means that you can have loads of TV matches and, you know, there's never going to be an issue because it can go to time and then they go, yeah, heels win sort of thing. But yeah, God, if they did not have Tully, fucking hell, they'd be dead in the water.
Bald FTR gave away the walkout because he kept looking at the tunnel.
Them. Yeah.
Then I was surprised that Trent had a mic. That was kind of exciting. But yeah, woo, and avoiding fights plot. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
what I want
like.
to. That's what I see on my wrestling show. No wrestling.
I didn't.
I don't have a problem with it because it
Yeah.
makes
It's classic heel
FTR's.
work,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's classic heel work. And I think it suits the FTR characters. It's because it's a very old school, and they are a very old school team brought into the modern day.
Really enjoyed from this was them being called weenies by
Yes.
Fucking love Chucky.
by Chucky. It was just
Bunch
so
of
good.
weenies.
I am looking forward to a 20-minute draw next week with FTR versus SCU.
Yeah.
I didn't rank it. I just want to see where it goes. Thank God they've got Tully. Thank God.
So, following on from that, we had Ivelisse and Diamante versus Thunder Rosa and Shida. Shida wins with the Tamashi. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it? And are we going to differ on our opinions?
My first comment on this was poor Shida having to wrestle those gaijins.
It's extra funny for me because there was an attempt to stop the Japanese using gaijin in their language because it's basically a little bit racist.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. They just ignored it. Please don't do this. No. Oh shit! It's Japan.
Yeah.
This was solid.
It was good enough. Yeah.
There were some bits that were bad. There were some bits that were good. There were some bits that were clumsy, but mostly overall it was solid. Not perfect, but solid.
Which Evie did we get for this match?
We got Evie who doesn't like Rosa, and Evie and Rosa fight like they don't like each other. And in all honesty, it helps because I don't think they like each other.
No, I think they kind of hate
after
each
last
other,
week. But yeah, no, I had a good time. I can't say it's exceptional. I gave it a C. I enjoyed it. It was
watched
good.
Too much Stardom, mate.
Ruined by Kagetsu.
No, I think it was really good. I think it's a good, well, not really good, but it was good enough, and it built. It built the storyline. You know, it's going to go to them challenging for the NWA. She'll lose the NWA match. Shida will, and then it'll go to a double belt match for some pay-per-view later on. Yeah, it's good enough.
And they buy NWA.
Yeah, exactly.
On Women's expert.
So I found this match flowed really well, which is because I'm so used to watching the more clumsy matches that we have in the women's division.
No. I've got no expectations.
Yeah. So this flowed a lot better. I really enjoyed it. You've got three of my favourite women's wrestlers in there, though. So again, I'm a little bit biased towards it, and I'm probably liable to give it a better.
Didn't know you're Diamante smart.
And Diamante is growing on me as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there was nothing bad in this match.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know. Maybe I need to stop watching
that's the other thing. You two are ruined on.
Yeah.
You know, had I watched this match back when I was watching the NXT Women's Division kill it, or back when the Impact Women's Division, the Knockouts were killing it, maybe I wouldn't have ranked it as high. I gave it a C/B.
A man in the desert will drink any form of water he gets.
Yeah.
Maybe I've ranked it a little high. It's a C/B. Fucking keck.
Well,
C/B,
C/B, but probably more of a B/C with hindsight. That's where I was going. I was a bit undecided as to whether I thought it was CB or BC, and I just went with the CB from your decision. It was either a B- or a C+, and I couldn't decide
It's really hard
which.
because they have such a great tag division. They have such a great singles males division, and then they just have not signed the talent they need to pull this women's division off.
Well, they have, and they've got injured.
Slight technical issue there, as happens to us occasionally. So yes, back on with what we were talking about the women's match.
Dick was mid-complaint.
No, like I was saying, you have the world's best tag team division in AEW. Yeah. You have some of the best singles wrestlers for males division, and then you just don't have the talent in the women's division because E, they haven't signed them, or B, they injured So, you know, they just...
They're not in America at the minute.
Yeah, or they're trapped abroad, or, you know...
Deeb coming in and fighting Kylan was good, but
Yeah.
how much experience... She's great, but how is she going to get on with the others? Because obviously they've got to get familiar with each other and get used to handling each other. And some people are a little bit rougher. Observe any Lucha Brothers match.
I think Deeb, this is one of the reasons why I think Deeb is a good pick for that.
She's a solid hand.
She is a solid hand. As I say, I think she will be our women's division code. I could be proved wrong, you know.
No.
She could end up not being it, but I think she will be our women's division Cody, who they will rely on to have a good match and get the newer people.
I think that's Shida. I think Shida's your most reliable hand in the division. She's, you know,
well, but she's also
the champ, which is the problem.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be building people up to go to the champ.
Yeah, I know. It's hopefully with Shanna back, that'll help a lot as well. So we'll see.
So, what did you rank this, Muir? I've got to fill out my C box.
I've got to give it a C for an AEW women's match. I think it was a C going on a B. In all honesty, I think I may be judging a bit harshly just saying a C, but you know,
you're not.
I'm not.
You're not.
Fair enough. Okay. Look, I've ruined you also, so just accept.
I haven't watched as much Stardom as you. I just watched 2 hours of Kagetsu. Right, take back control, Morg.
Right, from now on, I am going to, before every episode of Dark, I'm going to go and rewatch the Bayley-Sasha feud from beginning to end.
In casual, Kagetsu Mayu, all right.
Gosh,
then it was a Jericho and MJF backstage promo. What do you think of the promo? Did you give it a score?
Nah, a bit of comedy to break the pace. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their little like wanker gimmicks. See where it goes. But yeah, I think that was just like a pause to give us a bit of levity.
I like that they're smart enough to watch the show. I like that sort of thing. That makes me happy.
I liked that.
Good observation.
Yeah. But other than that, it was solid. It's two guys at the top of their game doing a good job. Yeah.
Enough said.
Yep. So, following on from that, it's Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. Mox wins with the Bulldog choke. I'll go on to what happens after. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give the match?
Right, I'm going to jump on this one because I am normally one of Moxley's biggest critics. Eddie's personality fucking came out straight away, and Eddie got great amounts of personality out of Mox. These two are great at fighting each other. Mox sold more for him, got more in, made more grunts. It's like he picked up Eddie's acting. It's like when you role play at somebody too hard and they can't help but
join in.
Come back, Really good, solid brawl. There were some great slap-offs and facial expressions like it. I honestly think Mox... I chopper you chopper me.
Yeah.
I think Mox enjoys fighting Kingston. I think that showed a lot.
I agree with that.
I quite enjoyed the commentary covering the ref hierarchy at one point.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I really enjoyed this. And Mox took out Kingston with his choke, which he only uses on his hardest opponents.
Yeah, it's put him over properly.
I think this is arguably a C match if you're not a brawly person, but to me it was a B, and it's very rare that I knock up the Mox matches just through the character work, how instantly they threw this little story together.
That's what I was going to bring up. The fact that they did this on the fly as well, I think.
One promo, just brawly fucking goodness for me. I'll say hand it over to people who aren't as brawly, hardcorey man as me.
When Mox was coming in, he spat. Don't spit during the pandemic, mate. Also, this should have been the Yano Mox rematch in the G1. I'm sorry, this is what it should have been. I really enjoyed this. For how little time these boys had to put this together, it just shows they're both proper professionals and they can pull out a good match out of their asses. I think it was solid, and I gave it a B.
So, Raptor did not care for this match, and I said this at the beginning because when we'd done our pre-show what we did our production meeting. We talked about this before I'd watched it.
Yeah.
I remember Strange saying how much he'd loved it, and I said to the Raptor, so it's either going to be, I have a feeling that I'm going to really enjoy this, and you're not.
And was I correct? Were you correct, Ethan?
She was not paying attention, and I said to her at the end, it just wasn't her thing. I really enjoyed this. This was hard hitting. This was brawling. This was what Mox stuff. Eddie was the perfect opponent for Mox,
isn't he?
Because he's another brawler. I think if we had this every week, it'd get boring. But actually seeing a proper, full-on old-school brawling match with two guys who know how to brawl, the trading slaps, the smacking each other. This was hard-hitting as well. There was a couple of times when I was like, "Whoa, you can tell these two worked in Japan." Yeah.
No.
So yeah, it got a B/A from me. I really enjoyed this.
I'm so glad because I'm aware, because I get really excited about hardcore matches and stuff. So, and I've been a detractor of Mox's brawly style because it doesn't always work how I want it to. But these two properly just fucking went for it, and I loved it. I'm glad we're all on the same page. A B it is.
It's not like my favorite type of match, but I think they did very well. And you've got to
have
admit,
all the flavors of the
It's a wrestling is a 3-ring circus, and every now and again break it up with a good decent brawl. And I think there's legs in a rematch as well. Most importantly.
Oh yeah.
And also, like, I can't emphasize enough. Like, they had 2 days tops to figure this out. So yeah.
Yes, mate.
I think you had like you said, two professionals there, and it's two brawlers as well. So I think they were relatively.
Yeah,
you don't really have to learn how to take a hurricanrana from this man in a rush if you're just going to slap each other and slam each other into rails and shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Right, what are we going to do? I'm just going to beat the piss out of each other. Right, fine.
Solid.
Easy.
Also, I love Eddie's T-bone suplexes. I'm pretty sure it's called an uranagi, but Taz doesn't call it that. But I love his little over-the-side fucking T-bone suplex. I think it looks wicked.
So, Mr. Strange, you are the one who does our tallying.
We still got what happened after this.
Oh, sorry, yes. So then,
Dubsy-dub!
Because I'd mentioned it earlier, Dubsy-dub time. So, Lucha Brothers run in and attack Mox. Will Hobbs then comes in for the save. Then, unsurprisingly, Darby Allin comes in for the save, followed by Ricky Starks kills Darby with a spear.
Yes.
That spear was fucking vicious.
There's something about Will Hobbs. Whenever I see him run out, he just makes me pop and makes me get behind him. I just feel like, yeah, go on, lad, you can do this, you know?
It's because he has an aura of dimes
floating
behind him like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Just these dimes being sucked into his orbit as he's running.
He's huge, he's fast, he's quite a handsome man, but he's got a good sneer on him. He's got a natural charisma, and he's got a hero backstory. It's putting him with Mox and Darby gives you this perfect little array of just fucking badass characters. People.
Yeah. Now,
if you don't like the Guinness adverts, you can like Mox's Edgy Man promos. We'll see where Hobbs goes with promos. Bit mad. Not sure what, Lucha Brothers, then the others, and see what's going on. But I love a Dubsy-dub ending. It makes me laugh.
It was a great Dubsy ending. And my final comment was Starks is beautiful.
He is, though.
He is
He's an A-rank man, apparently.
Yeah, that was my exact notes, was Ricky Starks kills Darby Allin with a spear.
He's definitely up in that spear because he finished his dark match with it.
His spear looks good. It is not the running hug of doom.
No.
It's good. It ain't Trent's. but Trent's can only be used outside the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
So, Mr. Strange, you normally do this now. So, you totting up the scores. What have we got? What rank did we come up with for this dark?
The D cancelling the A gives us 3 C's and 2 B's. So it's a high C.
That's what it feels like.
Not quite pushed over that barrier to do. Like, everything is good, do better, basically, with a few things that sort of pop the roof off. But good episode, really enjoyable. Not much to complain about other than Matt Hardy's lack of promo game, apparently.
Yeah, I remember him being good. I don't know.
No, he had Jeff. He had Jeff.
Yeah.
Didn't he have promo?
Jeff
just came out and looked weird.
Terrible promo.
Jeff's even worse. Yeah.
Jeff is
just...
Yeah, but he don't need to promo, does he? He just comes out and looks weird and
they
jumps
would
off
never.
shit good enough.
Matt is a good promo when he's broken. That's the thing.
Yeah, when he's got a character to overact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Matt,
you
know. But yeah, so that's our review of the week. We watched a lot of wrestling this week.
Ugh.
At least it wasn't a pay-per-view week. If they do an
Awesome.
extended dark and a late night dynamite and a pay-per-view, I may have to go over and punch Tony Khan.
As much as I love AEW, guys, I'm just not watching it. I'm just going to leave it up to you. I'll watch the bits I want to, like the dynamite, but you can do dark and dark too.
Remember, if we want to punch Tony Khan, I am the smallest of us and thus probably the cheapest to post. So,
fair comment. So, moving on, now it's that time when if there was any questions we had, we would be answering them. And unfortunately, we haven't had any questions. If you would like to send us a question, if you'd like to send us something to rant about, we haven't had something to rant about for ages. We did get very close to ranting about the fact there's been too much wrestling this week.
I think we've ranted about it here and there in passing. So we've had the floating rants this week.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, we are wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. We are WrestleOP on Facebook and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Please follow us on all of them. If you follow us on Facebook, you get to see the silly little memes and things that we make and that the Raptor makes. And on Twitter, you get to interact with Mr. Strange as he shit posts and shit talks. So moving on, now we have our time of the week when Mr. Muir comes up with something he would like us to have a little discussion about. And Mr. Muir, what have you got for us this week?
The first of all, after just the discussion of postage, which faction would you post from Stardom, Strange? Because you have a budget of how much they all weigh. So obviously the Donnas are going to cost you more to post. But, you know, you can probably get the Stars for a bit cheaper.
I'm getting the Queens, mate. We know what my faction is now.
Anyway, my actual discussion is about moves in wrestling and / or AEW. Which moves would you ban from wrestling for a while? And which moves would you like to see more of in wrestling again?
I am ready.
Go on, Mr. Strange, because I have a feeling that we can all say this one together.
Canadian Destroyer!
When the man that made the move has apologized for making the move, you know there's something gone wrong.
We've got to take the code red out as well because it looks basically the same.
It is just a destroyer. I don't care that it's this. It's just a destroyer, mate. I don't care.
If you do a Tope Suicida, it must be replaced with a Tope Con Hero, and if you can't do one, you don't get to do jumping outside the ring moves.
I'm down with that.
I hate bringing people in by pulling the rope. I hate it. I hate it with a passion, and I don't think we should see that. We need to reduce my long-lasting hatred, the tag team assisted pile driver. Fortunately, the LB Lucha Bros have picked up the Penta driver, which is different. And I'm going to say, try and cut down on the Death Valley drivers. It is Sean Spears' finisher.
Yeah.
And everybody's pulling them off. It's like casually like, whoop.
I do like a Death Valley driver, though. So
I like fancy suplexes, and I want to see more things like the Uranagi T-bone. I want to see some more Cabradores. I want to see things Taz can describe how they're holding them.
Yeah,
like Brian Pillman's pump handle bomb, the T-bone suplex, or things that Excalibur will shout a weird Spanish name for. The Cabradora being, of course, the spinning back.
Do you want to know what I want to see?
Go on.
Destino!
Your mic can't do a full Destino. Destino!
Oh.
It's
love that move.
It's so Naito's finisher. It's a inverted DDT through spinning round there. It's like a backflip inverted DDT from standing, and it's wicked. And the guy who does the announcing for NJP Dub loves it more than any other human. What I'm really going to add in, though, as a man of incredible taste, is weapons. Every hardcore match we've had has only had tables and the occasional lame chair strike. We haven't seen fucking
Sheeta's
kendo stick, but it's not used that much.
No, it isn't.
Steve Blackman, master of all different things, Raven. Steve Blackman, actual martial arts murderer. When he had those two little sticks doing his scrimmer fighting, was cool as shit. Drago had nunchucks.
Drago was great.
I don't really expect another nunchuck match, but
No.
I think we're lacking in cool hardcore matches. The last big hardcore match we had with a now no longer with the company for correct reasons, had Super Deathmatch Man and another Super Ancient Deathmatch Man only featured chairs. The last decent hardcore match we had was Kenny versus Mox, and that unfortunately crossed the barrier of having a bed made out of barbed wire, which was a bit.
And it looks like we had another one of our technical difficulties. I'm blaming Strange.
Yeah, he's cursed us.
In all honesty, I could probably take this as a point to stop ranting about hardcore weapons. I think I've built myself into a bit of a fucking tier. Yeah, bit more investment on the hardcore. A few more cool moves with Spanish names and some more funky slams. Mix it up a bit.
Okay, so from me, getting rid of lariat finishers. We've got 2. We don't need any more. Don't anybody else do a lariat finisher.
Brody and Hangman are allowed to keep theirs.
I don't. I'd quite like one of them to change their finisher.
Brody could change his to some sort of power bomb or some sort of big man strong move.
But again, fortunately they both look like they take your head off. I never liked the clothesline from hell that Bradshaw used to do.
It's Bradshaw.
A clothesline is not a finisher, even though it looks like they take the head off. It's not a finisher to me. Obviously, the other move I want to get rid of because I don't like it, and as much as I know why you guys do, is I really, really hate the Judas effect.
I don't blame you.
I'm anti-Judas effect. I bitch about it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm all right with a 49-year-old doing it as his finisher. All right.
Do the fucking the Lion Tamer. It looks so much better.
You're a heel.
But he could kill a man.
To be fair, I've always preferred the Code Breaker from the second he brought the Code Breaker back. I do think he does that better than anyone else.
Yeah, he does do a good Code Breaker.
Sadly, it's a transmission move now. It has gone too far into the realms of the old the super.
I like the Lion Salt. I still think that's one of my favourite of his moves. But
middle rope Lion Salt, beautiful.
Yeah. I've always liked the Lion Salt. And I'd actually like to see more wrestlers with a specific submission move.
Oh, you'd like to see some submission finishers?
Yeah, because I think everyone should
have to be finishers, but
but I am talking finishers. Because I think there's only Cody I can think of that's got like 2 moves, and one of them's a submission and one of them isn't. And I think you should always have. Oh, and Mox has a double finisher as well. And it's just one of those things we're talking about having multiple finishers. I always think you should have your strike finisher and your submission finisher.
It's how you made your character back on the old PS2 wrestling games. You'd have your ground finisher, which would actually traditionally be a corner move because it was much easier to pull off corner finishers than standing finishers, and a submission when they hit the floor. No, you're right, and it does look good. Mox busting out his choke on Brody, Eddie. He's done it on somebody else as well. Pac's got 2. He's got the Black Arrow and the Brutalizer.
And again, one of his is a submission.
Yeah. What I would just like to see is just submissions more in matches. We don't generally get any submissions in matches. That slow submission where the babyface is crawling out of there. We don't really get that much in AEW. I always find.
No. But they mostly have faces, and most of their heels are power characters.
Yeah, it's true. They don't have. I don't know. Maybe I prefer us.
We need Pac back.
What we need is one babyface stable, and then like 4 tweener stables and 1 heel stable, and then you sort of get a feel of everything.
I could watch Brody doing a torture rack into bomb move.
Saying. Yeah.
Brody doing a torture rack is cool.
No, not a torture rack. That's one of those finishes that's one of those submission moves I really hate.
What's her name? Student that does the torture rack into a slam that's fucking immense. Utama. Is it Utama?
It's Utami. That's what we're talking about, Morg. You have the torture rack on and like hold them for a bit and like stretch them, and then you fucking flip it into a power bomb as you go down or some shit. It looks cool as fuck. Maybe I just really like torture acts in the same way that I really like back rakes. There's something
I like
about
torture acts as well. I think
the
they're
80s.
classics. Yeah.
80s classic stuff. I think we're actually all sort of on the same page of a little bit less like super flippy shit we see,
Indie
and a little
stuff.
bit more, a little bit less indie, and a little bit more wrestly is what we're after.
A little less indie shitter.
Oh God! Well, oh my God, we're becoming the anti-flippy shit people.
We're not
That's a
though,
lie.
because we fucking
Nah.
love flippy shit. It's just, I think you need more wrestling in a wrestling promotion. I think you can have the super fast matches, you can have those cruiserweight speed matches, whatever you want to call them, but you do need normal wrestling as well, or it just loses all weight to it.
I think one of the things we've missed Cody. Actually, for our saying he's come, but he's the one who always gives you get a classic wrestling match.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have to rely on one wrestler to bring
this is true. This is true.
Sean Spears back to the main fucking roster. He can wrestle anyone.
Yeah,
that's true. Sean Spears.
Cody Spears, dude. I'd watch Cody, MJF, Spears.
What, the classic 80s wrestlers fighting each other? Yeah.
And the people who like go in a direction, but not too much in a direction. Like, who's a good mid flippy lad? Like, not too.
Apart from
he's high speed, but he doesn't actually do that many like over the top flippy things. Weirdly, now you've mentioned it, it's mostly him throwing himself.
Yes,
he doesn't rely on suplexing or hurricanranaing that much. At a point, maybe we just want a bit of like the old early 90s love for a bit, just to make us appreciate the high speed stuff a bit more.
Because if you just watch high speed, it really does depreciate itself. Because it's like, I've seen that before, but it was half the speed. Yeah. Exactly.
God, we're becoming cornets, boys. We're becoming cornets.
I don't think we are.
On that note,
Russo for life.
Right.
I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Right. On that note, I would like to say thank you very much to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. If you want to find us, we are Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm and Spotify and YouTube. Listen to our show. Mr. Muir.
Right, thanks as always for watching the show. Shame my mic can't do half the moves I'm trying to do with it. And if you'd like to send us stuff, it'd be fantastic if you could please send it to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. And over to you, Strange.
Like that backyard shitter, my mic can deal with shouting. Gonna get myself over here.
Fair enough.
Once again, thanks for listening. We do appreciate every single one of you that listens and sends in questions. You haven't this week, but please do, as Muir said. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy what we're doing. Click the little 5-bar number on Spotify. I don't know what Anchor has because I don't actually understand podcasts. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, share your friends, send us things to talk about. Thank you very much. Back to Morg.
So all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.